Hello again everyone, and welcome to our next video in the series of training videos. This one will be on how to customize your Google site. So in order to do that, we're going to first open our Chrome web browser. After doing so, you'll see the app drawer, which is the 9 little boxes in the top right corner. Click on that and you should see sites on the list, Google Sites. So if you click on your Google Sites, I created a training one just for this purpose. A3 Industries is our pretend company name. Here you'll see a blank page. After you create the page, you'll see a blank page. It'll say Home. You need to customize that page. And in order to do so, the first thing you want to click on is this little cog. The cog has all of your settings under in this menu. And if when customizing, you want to click on Manage Site. Manage Site will give you the name of the site, which you can change. It'll give you the options of details about the site, choosing a URL. But for customizing purposes, we are going to pick themes, colors, and fonts down here at the bottom. After clicking on themes, colors, and fonts, we can change how the page looks. If you click on the menu that says charcoal here, you can scan and see how your site would look with a different theme. So if we wanted to change it to Tron, for instance, we click on Tron and we would see down here how our site would look with the Tron theme. If we don't like that theme, we can click on, say, Treehouse. And this will be how our site would look with Treehouse. Let's go with something very basic, such as tiles. Here we go. Here's how it would look with tiles. So for our purposes, we're going to go back to charcoal, what we started with. Now, right underneath the theme menu, you'll see entire page, site header, content area gadgets, sidebar gadgets, and horizontal navigation. Those are all different pieces to your page. So if you want to change something about the entire page, like the background, you can either go with a theme. You could say none, which just makes it plain old white, or you can change it to a certain color. Say you wanted it just plain gray or blue. You can also add an image if you'd like. You can find an image online, take a picture, find a background, and place that in there as well. The wrapper image would also be part of your website. For the text, you can change the font of the text. So say the font, instead of going with theme, we'll click on the next button over and we can choose from all the different fonts Google has to offer. So say we want Anton, you'll see they changed in our preview window. So let's change it to Architect's Daughter as another type of theme. We can change the color of the font. We can make it blue if we wanted to. Change the size of the font. If we wanted it bigger. Let's say color, let's go back to black. We can change the link color, can be a certain color. So say we want to make the link color red, and then the visited link color, we can make a different color, such as green. We can change lots of different features. Content area also, we can change the color or put a picture in the background of the content area. So now we'll make the content area gray. Let's lighten that up a little bit. Make it a lighter gray. We can also put an image down in the content area. This is the content area where you see my mouse arrow floating over. There's also headers that you can change the font, color, and theme if you put in different headers in your content area. If you install gadgets in your content area, you can change the background of those and the font of those. The sidebar is this area over here when you add pages to your website. That's the sidebar. We can change that. Why don't we change the color of the sidebar, lighten that up a little bit. We can also add an image if we'd like. Change the color of the title in the sidebar and the type of font we're going to use. So we can change the font that's only in the sidebar. Change the color of the font. So you see navigation, change color, and change the size in the sidebar over here. That's in the title You can also change the text, the same thing. Change the color, the size. We already changed that to red, but we can change it. Go ahead and change it to green if we wanted to. Um, make it a little bit bigger. Let's go back to red. Link color we can make again. We can change if we wanted to. Now it's green. We can make it blue. Visited link color, we can change that as well. Make that red. Horizontal navigation, you would have to insert yourself, so we're not going to focus too much on that. Before we leave this menu, make sure you save your changes. This does not auto-save like in your Google Drive, so you need to save the changes. Then at the bottom here, it'll say return to site. You want to return to your site. Now here is all the customization you just did. Now you're probably thinking, this looks very plain. How do I add pages to my site? Well, in order to add a page to your site, you go up to the top here and click on Create Page. It's the little page with the plus sign. You'll then be prompted to name your page. So we can call this Test Page 1. We'll make it a web page and put it at the top level. So now we have our new page, Test Page 1. We can add, if we want to put something in here, we can say this page is created for test purposes, and then save. Now our first page has been created. Now we can customize. What I like to do first before I forget is to uncheck the allow comments button. This will remove this bottom area where it says comments so that the comments will not appear and people will not have a chance to comment on your page. So here's our test page. Now that we've created this page, we need to be able to personalize it, to change it, to add to it. In order to do any of that, we have to remember to click on the pencil over here, which is Edit Pages. When we click on the Edit Page, we'll be given some options here. We can insert something. We can insert something like a picture, a web link, a hyperlink, table of contents, subpage listings, recent posts, text box, a calendar perhaps, a chart, something from your drive, a document, a drawing, a whole folder, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a video, any of that. Google Plus, you can insert photos right from your Google Plus account. You can install or start a Hangout right on your website and talk to somebody from a different state, a different country, a different part of the world. You can install a map or a YouTube video. So for this example, why don't we install a calendar? So let's install a calendar on our page. When we look, let's just put in holidays in the United States. And it'll ask us how the height in pixels. You can just leave this all as is for now just to see how it looks. Click on Save. Now you won't see how it looks yet, so don't get worried. Don't get concerned. In order to see what you've done, you have to save the work. Now you can see you've inserted a calendar onto your web page. Now if you don't like the way it looks, click on the pencil again and click on the cog, which is the properties. Now if this site is too big for your page, if you want it smaller, you would just change the height and the width of the page. So we can make it, say, 400 pixels wide, so it's not the entire page. We're going to view the entire month. We can choose our time zone that we want to operate in. We are currently in the Central time zone. So if we scroll down, we will see Central Time Chicago. Show week, month agenda, show calendar name. We don't need to show the calendar name. Navigation buttons, current date range, border. We can uncheck that and include title. If we save it now and click on Save at the top of the page, here is our new calendar and how it looks. Now again, you may or may not like this, and you can play around with it by going into the Edit page and properties menu. Now we can make this bigger, or it says leave blank for 100%. Sure, we can leave blank for 100%. Click on save. Here is your calendar. Holidays in the United States, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day being the next ones. Now, let's make another page, and let's call that pictures. We'll put that on the top level. Now we have another page called pictures. Again, we can go right into the editing. It immediately sends you into the edit page mode. We can insert pictures right from our Google Plus account. So if we click on Google Plus and photo, all of your photos in your Google Plus account will pop up. So let's photos from post. Let's click on sure. I will insert this photo onto my test website. I will select, and my photo has now been inserted onto the page. And it's just a matter of clicking. Your entire photo album of every picture that you took will be available to insert with just the click of a button. Now we have to make sure we save what we just did. When you're all finished customizing your page, we can share the page. Now here is the web address for anyone who would like to see the page. You can share it via email, via your Google Plus account, Facebook or Twitter. If you don't want to share the page, you can invite other people to collaborate with you on the page. If you want them to edit the page, you want their feedback on the page, you can enter in their email address and send them a link to your page, and they can give you feedback on what they think of the page. You can always do that. If you're done with that, you can always return to the site and continue customizing. Here we have pictures and test page 1. If we go back to test page 1, here is our calendar. We can always add something else to the page. Pictures. You can always add another picture. We click on the edit page button. We can change the layout of the page. Here's one column. We can make this a 2-column page, a 3-column page, 1 column with a banner at the top, a banner at the bottom, 2 columns with the banners at the top and the bottom, 3 columns, banner at the top and the bottom with a sidebar, right sidebar, left and right sidebar. So there's lots of different options to choose from. We can also insert a table onto the page. So if you want to insert a table on the page, you can, same as in your Google Docs, here is now your table, and you can add data if you'd like. So say you want to add data, 1 in one box, 2 in the next box, 3, 4, I mean, whatever you'd like to do. You can change the data, add data, or just remove it altogether. All right, you can also format the page by creating a heading. You can remove the formatting, strike through, add code, align left, right, and center, and also, again, go back to inserting. Now, there are more gadgets you can insert if you really want to be creative. You can click on more gadgets. Click on all the public, like the weather. Say you want to include the weather or some fish. See Google Calendar Viewer, a calorie counter, date and time, word games, a simple clock. Maybe you want to put a clock on your page, some games, currency rates. There's lots of different gadgets you can add to your Google site. If you want to say add some fish, you can customize making all the fish different colors. Again, I'm just going to quickly, all right. Say we just want 2 fish, and then insert and save. Here are our 2 fish. We just added a fish tank to our site. Every time you click on the fish tank, it will drop some food into the water. And you can see the fish going towards the food, and you can add more fish. It's just for entertainment purposes to anyone visiting your page by adding the fish tank. Now, if you don't want this, you can always remove the gadget by clicking on the remove button. Back to just the picture you added to your page. If you're not satisfied with anything on the page, you can always start over by going back to Manage Site. Say you want to change the theme of your site, even though it's been up a few weeks or a few months, you can always go back to the menu, change the site, but remember, you might realize it didn't change. That's because we didn't go with the theme. We got to change that back to theme, and now, here we go. We're going to save and return to site. And now we have the treehouse theme. Go back to pictures. Our picture is still there. Go back to test page. Calendar is still there. Just the theme has changed on the page. And you can go ahead and do that as much or as little as you'd like. Now say on our test page you wanted to add something to the bottom of the page. Say you create a homework page. So you want to create a page just dedicated to adding homework and let your students know this is the homework for the day. You can create a homework page, type out your subjects, math, music, art, Spanish, reading, and then you would obviously click Save. Now again, all of this can be customized through our Edit Page menu. Say you want to make science one color, you can go ahead and click on the text color box. Science will now be red. Click on the button. There we go. Science is now red. History, we can change the color to blue. English, we can change the color to a light green. And you can go on and do that for all the different subjects. The customization bar here is almost identical to that of Google Docs. So once you get familiar with Google Docs and how to edit text in Google Docs, you should be very familiar on editing text on your Google site. Say you wanted to add a hyperlink, say in math, you want the students to visit coolmathgames.com. You can put in visit www.coolmathgames.com. Now again, this may or may not be an actual site. You can make this a hyperlink so the students don't have to go ahead and type that by clicking on this link menu, this chain menu. We're going to add a hyperlink, and now when the students go to your website to see the assignments, you now have inserted a direct link to their homework, and they can just go ahead and click on the link and go right to the page. Now again, I noticed at the bottom comments were there. You can go ahead and uncheck that box. The comment area has disappeared. And that's about it. If you have any other questions, please contact me as always, and enjoy.